Jaylen Brown did. Now, this will likely be the most scrutinized thing. Shout out to the Celtics, but I cannot overlook this. Before I ask Shady McCoy this question, I want to show y'all something that may indeed blow your mind. Look at this graphic of where Jayson Tatum falls as it pertains to being the leader on his team of points, boards, and assists. LeBron, Duncan, Magic, all of those players, and mind you, these are Hall of Fame talents, top 5, top 8 players ever. They all won Finals MVP. But Jayson Tatum, on this elite and illustrious list, he didn't. Giving y'all a second to soak in what you're witnessing. Soak in this graphic. Okay, now take it away and let me talk to 2-5 real quick. Shady, Jayson Tatum, he led in all of these things, but he didn't even win Finals MVP. He didn't even win that.
Yeah.
But did he silence his critics?
Yes. Is he a champion?
Yes.
Did he wake up there as a champion?
He did.
Last night, did he spray some champagne? Right? Champagne shower. Yeah, he's a champion. Yes, he silenced critics because one thing you can't take away from these players, especially Tatum, is that he's a champion. Right? You may say, oh, he didn't get this. He didn't do that. He didn't score a certain amount of points. He didn't do this. The game's online. He didn't do. It don't matter. None of that matters. Only that matters is that he's a champion. Now, can he go out there and get you a Finals MVP eventually? Yeah. The last 7 years, 5 of them years, they've been to the
Eastern Conference Finals.
Hello?
Yeah, I believe so.
So that lets you know they can get there again, right? And I think that this team they have, they're going to be good for a long time, right? I think Horford, depending on his age, what he wants to do, but if you got to find a way to replace him eventually. But other than that, that team is solid. They locked in. They love playing with each other. Him and Jaylen Brown is going to play a lot of good basketball for a lot of years because they don't have that issue of whose team is it? Is it mine? Is it yours? Who shoots the last shot? They don't have that. Well, other All-Stars, you can kind of see it, right? Kobe and Shaq, even though Shaq's the most dominant, Kobe, hey, man, I want to shoot this rock.
Yes, sir.
And it was a thing where you can see it. Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, why they were so special, why they did so well is because both of these brothers understood, hey, look, for us to win, I need you, you need me. You do your thing, I do my thing. Now, whoever wins the Finals MVP is what it is, but overall, they win games because they appreciate each other and they trusted each other. They're doing the same thing. So if you ask me, has he silenced the critics? Absolutely. You cannot take away he's an NBA champion.
Now, this is interesting coming from that man. Because Shady fervently believes, and I'm not telling on him, he said this publicly and he said it privately, that Jaylen Brown is the better of the two players. We'll get to that later, I promise you this. But when it comes to criticism, Ric Bucher, Jayson Tatum's hurt a lot. Haven't been able to win. No killer instinct. No dog. He's not the leader on us. All of it, family. But he's a champion.
Right.
He's a champion.
Right.
Did he silence his critics?
No.
Whoa.
No. Because we weren't questioning. Certainly, we questioned whether he was a champion or not. But we questioned a lot of other things in terms of was he maximizing his talent? Did he have the dog in him? Could he be the go-to player? Was he truly the best player on the Boston Celtics, as he has been advertised to be over all these years? Well, he wasn't the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He wasn't the Finals MVP.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just going based on when Jaylen Brown was named the Finals MVP, I tweeted out there, or X'd out there, however you want to put it, is anybody else stunned that Jayson Tatum didn't win Finals MVP? Because the numbers would say that he did. And the response that I got from many of Jayson's critics was, no, because he wasn't the closer. He didn't hit the big shot. So he answered a lot of things, and he made a fan out of me. But then I've always appreciated what he is and what he isn't. I've never expected him to be that go-to guy. That's where Shady and I get into it, because I think Jaylen Brown is that closer. I think he does have that, give me the ball and get out of the way and I'll go get it. I've never thought Jayson Tatum had that. But do I think that Jayson Tatum was instrumental, maybe the biggest instrument in them winning a championship? I would make a case that he was.
Here's what's fascinating, because I think that Jayson Tatum is almost LeBron James' delight. Like snack size, if you will. The LeBron James light, not delight. Snack size. And since we all know LeBron James passed for it first. Most notably, remember that time LeBron James kicked it, I think it was to KCP during the bubble years, and Dame Lillard said he made the right play, but I still would have shot over both of them.
Yeah.
That, to me, was the most polarizing moment of everybody realizing LeBron's a pass-first player. But even in LeBron James being a deferential player, he was still going to win Finals MVP 4 times and all his chips. Kyrie had the biggest shot. Congratulations, Kai. But LeBron had the block along with everything else. He was still going to win Finals MVP. So, James Jones, I'm a little have tension here because I respect Tatum as a differential player. I love his game. But to me, it says something he didn't win MVP to silence his critics.
It does, and he didn't silence the critics. And my main reason he didn't silence the critics is, who does? While you are playing NFL, NBA, until you retire, you're going to have them critics. They will celebrate you when you retire. Jayson Tatum is still playing, so he's going to have them critics. And the critics is going to be exactly what you just said, Acho. My man is a champion now. Coming into this next season, if they make it to the playoffs and they are making a run, the critics are going to be saying, what if he don't win it again this year? Is he that type of player? The critics are going to be there all the time until he retires and walks into the Hall of Fame. That's when they'll say, hey, man, he was a really good basketball player, right? This is the stuff he did right. He's a champion. So the critics will never go nowhere. LeBron James has been to the finals, what did he go, 10 times in a row? And there's still people out there, only 4? Only this? Oh, so you always are going to have those critics, you know what I mean? So the best thing about it now is he can sit there and look at you in your eye and say whatever you want, Shady. I'm a champion, homeboy. That's it.
And that's what I'm
you know
riding
what I'm
with.
saying?
That's why I say, forget the critics. He's a champion now.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to talk about is, like, the voters, right? I know you're a voter. And this is why, like, they finally got it right. Because you can look at the stats and make an argument for it, right? But if you really watch the series, you cannot tell me that JB was not the best player on the floor on both sides. On both sides, right? The impact that he brought to the game, I think, is more impactful than what Tatum did. Right, because you can talk about the rebounds and all that type of stuff and all that, but when I watch the game, seriously, I mean, like you play a bunch of jump shooters, they all gonna shoot threes, so you're gonna get some rebounds, but that's another case. When I watch JB tell his head coach, hey, look, yeah, I'm guarding their best player, yeah, or he's a top 5 or top 3 player. Yeah, I'm guarding him from inbound to inbound. Yeah. And the only way he'll get this ball back if he bring up himself. Yeah. Sure. What did Luka do? Let me get the ball back.
Yeah.
So when you ask me about who's not just the best player, but the most impactful player, it has to be him. He did the same thing in the last series. And then another thing is scoring. We watch some games where, okay, who gonna score? We can't, when not this game, the last game.
When it matters.
Right?
Score
the
when it matters.
Okay, game three. Right? Where they made that crazy run back, right? It was like 20 to 2. Okay.
Yep.
Who gonna score? Because Tatum tried to score, it didn't work, right? JB, I got it.
Yep.
So my thing is, when I watch the game and I see that, that's the dog to me, because we're in the huddle as a group, when time out, and everybody's like not panicking, but nervous, because we've been there, like, dang, what we gonna do? Who we going to?
Yeah.
Let's go to our main players. Is it Tate? Nah, coach gonna miss for JB. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So when you talking about who the best dude is, and then on defense, we in the huddle. Yo, they gonna run it. We can't stop. What we gonna do? Yo, you got Tatum. You got. Nah, JB gonna get Luka. You get what I'm saying? That's why for me is maybe the talent part Tatum has him, because I think he's more talented overall. But when you talk about the best player and the most impactful player on Boston, it's got to be him.
I got a question that only this show can get answered. Why? Because Slick is sitting next to me, and for those that don't know, Ric Bucher is an MVP and postseason awards voter.
He knows it all.
So only this show can get answered the question that I'm about to ask.
Yeah.
You talk about impact. Once we all realize impact, it changes voting. What I mean by that is Russ Westbrook, he averaged a triple-double for a season. He won MVP. But then the whole world realized, man, them triple-doubles he's been averaging don't really equate to no wins. No. So the next year he did it, he didn't win MVP. And then he did it again, family, for those that aren't aware, and he didn't win MVP. He did it the first time because we were like, oh, my God, what's he doing? Embiid finally got his MVP. They were like, you know what, Embiid, I know you be scoring and whatnot, but we going back to Joker. We going back to Joker. We shouldn't have left Joker in the first place. Tatum's been All-NBA 3 years in a row. Yeah. Jaylen Brown didn't even make an All-NBA team this year. He only made it once before. Now, Rick, as a voter, again, nobody can answer this question but you, literally on television. Now that you've realized that Tatum's impact isn't as substantial as Brown's impact in the most meaningful moments, Eastern Conference MVP was Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP was Jaylen Brown. As you go through your voting process next season of all NBA teams and MVP awards, will you be moved in the same manner that many of the voters were moved, not giving Westbrook another MVP, realizing, okay, the stats are cool, but you're not really doing it when it matters? Does this change Tatum's future accolades now that you've seen what happens when it matters most?
No, because what he did in these playoffs and what he did during the regular season, first of all, there's just a distinction. If you're allowing what you see in a player in the postseason to affect what you're thinking about them in the regular season the following season, then you're
human.
It's understandable.
Because we did that with pause. We did it with Embiid and Joker.
Sure.
Jokic won 2 MVPs in a row, I believe it was. But he didn't win nothing in the finals. We're like, give it to Embiid, give it to Embiid. He led the league in scoring. But then Jokic won the finals and finals MVP. So this season we're like, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Give it back to Jokic because Embiid's still not doing nothing in the playoffs.
Sure.
So we gave it to Jokic. I do believe that it impacts.
No, it does. And I've actually asked voters this question about how they go about it and whether those postseason accolades carry over. And I've had voters tell me, yeah, you know what, I kind of regretted that I voted for so-and-so as MVP, and then he wasn't what I thought he was in the postseason. That affected me some kind of way, and to your point, no doubt that carries over. It sets the bar a little bit higher. Like, you really got to do something special now because you're carrying a black mark against you, right? But in this case, I look at what a guy has to do, and again, as what Jayson had to do through the course of these playoffs and in the finals, along with the regular season, he's carrying the water. And I know you're being dismissive of, like, he's rebounding, he's getting everybody involved, and he's scoring, but all those things matter. The fact that Kristaps Porzingis gets injured, and now you need Jayson Tatum to defend against Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively and be a big, and especially when you go to a big lineup, now he's got to play the 5. Like, you're asking a 6'6", 6'7" guy to do that. They didn't ask Jaylen Brown to do that for a reason. He couldn't do that. He was better in the matchup against Luka and Kyrie. So that draws more attention because of the quality of the player that he's defending. But the fact that Jayson Tatum says, and you need these guys to win championships, and I know you both know this because you've both experienced it. You need the guy who can do a lot of different things and says, what do you need me to do? It's like the wide receiver who can block. The ball's not always coming your way, but if I'm going to make a key block that's going to spring somebody.
That's what the best player on the team's going to say?
Yeah.
What's that?
Hold on. No. So you telling me the best player on the team, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, right? The Kareems, they're going to say, yo, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Well, you take it.
Oh, no. I'm saying what you're saying. You telling me they going to tell the coach, what do you need me to do? I'm going to do that? Or they going to say, yo, I'm going to do what I've been doing. I'm going to dominate. I'm going to make sure we win this game. I'm going to score where we need to be scored.
When Phil
Let's
Jackson came to Michael Jordan and said, hey,
what?
I need you to kick it to Steve Kerr.
I mean, come on.
What did Mike do?
Slick.
I'm just saying.
That's not the same, though. You're talking about one possession type of thing.
I'm talking 1993. You know what?
Against the Suns?
What about it to John Paxson?
Cool, but that's a shot. What about the whole game? What about me just scoring outrageously over and over again? What about that? I pass because the dude's double teaming. That's a different story. Listen, real quick, and I'm gonna let you go, because I hear you and you got a point. But when you talk about the greats and the best, they're not having no role player moments, right? MJ, do they double team me, boom, open shot, do that. But the whole time I've been carrying us because I'm that good. I'm that great. When you talk about Tatum have to guard the bigs for the Dallas Mavericks, what are we talking about?
I'm talking.
JB had to go guard Luka. Hello? Are we serious? Luka? Yo, you got the bigs who shoot, I don't know, 4 times a game and maybe a couple alley hoops. You got Luka with the ball in his hand all game.
I love what Jaylen Brown did to Luka, but the reality is they hunted mismatches. So how many times did Jaylen Brown was actually guarding Luka? And what I'd like to see
from inbound to inbound
in terms of what he did. But look, here's the thing. This is the reason I wanted to jump in.
Okay.
Because you're giving me the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants who did all of everything and they were the closer.
Right.
Like, this is the distinction with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like, I'm not going to argue. Jaylen Brown is the guy that if I need a bucket, I'm giving it to him. I'm not giving it to Jayson.
And a stop. Right? And a stop, too, right?
To get a shot. Okay, fine. A stop. Okay. I'll give you both of those, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not putting Jaylen Brown because he filled those roles. I'm not putting him in the Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan category.
No, nobody's putting him in that category.
He just did.
I'm saying the roles.
What Shady is saying, because when I was watching the game, and not just even last night, when I was watching a couple of the games, when the game came down to the wire, I wanted Tatum to win MVP. Trust, I'm like, go get the ball, bro. Like, this is not football.
Not
you need the line to block. You need the quarterback to be good. You need him to throw to. You need Shady to pick up blitzes, all that.
Right. Yeah.
Go get the ball, bro. You are like that. Kobe and them would have said, give me the rock and let me go do that.
He's not that.
But the main thing is You let JB get the rock and do that. You do it. You close it. So for me as a voter, when you're watching that, yes, you average more points. Yes, you average more assists. Yes, you average more rebounds. Yes, you probably are a better defender. You can guard all these different people. But when the game was on the line, what we remember most, 7 had the rock.
I got an issue with Kai. As somebody who grew up in Dallas, as somebody who's a Mavs fan, as somebody who's at the NBA Finals in 2006 when we played the Heat, and the NBA Finals in 2011 when we finally beat the Heat, I obviously was overly invested in the performance of the Dallas Mavericks, and Kyrie Irving chose the wrong time to try to find himself. See, I didn't like this Kyrie Irving that has appeared to try to find some new level of enlightenment. Play basketball, Kai. This kumbaya Kai is not getting it done for me. Because Kyrie Irving is all of a sudden showing up to games with basketballs. You ain't done that before. Kyrie Irving, all of a sudden, you got your kids at the pre-walks and the post-games. Well, where are the buckets, Kai? You averaged 14 points in the Garden, Kai. You shot 34% from the field in the Garden, Kai. You are the only Dallas Maverick that has won a championship. Yet in the championship moments, you coward, Kai. Where the real Kyrie? I don't need kumbaya Kyrie. I don't need Kyrie that's going to get to Twitter or X after the game 20 minutes later and say this mission is bigger than us. No, it's not. The only mission is to win a championship, Kai. That was Luka's mission. That was PJ's mission. That was Kid's mission. I don't know what mission you're tweeting about. This is not the time to be talking about the afterlife. This is not the time to be talking about eternity. This is not the time to be talking about missions that are so grandiose that we cannot grasp them, that they are without the fingertips of our reach. Kai, hoop! Hoop! And he wasn't hooping. You dapping up the opponent for beating you when you allowed them to beat you. You scored 12, you scored 16, you scored 15 in they crib. They used to be your crib. That's supposed to be a condo. You're supposed to rent out the Garden when you go there and then go back to your pad in Dallas, Kai. So I don't know, Shady, what Kai that was. But I don't like Kumbaya Kai. I don't like that Kai.
Yeah, that was pretty good, man.
I'm frustrated, man. Frustrated.
Was it more of the Kai or just the Mavericks fan you are, the Dallas fan?
It's probably the Dallas.
Okay. All right.
He just set those moccasin hoops on fire, the shoes on fire right there.
Yeah, that was tough, man. Feathers down for that one. You know what? But I am surprised with Kyrie Irving, though, right? And I was just doing my homework about, so when he left Boston, did he ever go out there and give them work in Boston?
No.
No. So I was wondering, maybe it's tough for him to play there, right? I don't know if it's the fans, wherever it may be, but he hasn't looked the same when he playing against Boston, right? I watched when he, last series, right? He played well, right? Maybe a game or two then, but overall he played well. This is playoffs, he played well. The reason why the match was so good, obviously a lot of Luka, but a lot of Kyrie Irving too. And them together was the mismatch for a lot of different teams. Yo, you go, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to you. That's what they were doing. And then when we get to the Boston series, I didn't see it at all. I didn't see the lack of, or the urgency of getting buckets. We needed points. That's what Kyrie Irving does. And then you're the only player on that team that been to the finals that can really talk about it, right? Being in the atmosphere, how hostile it may be, or et cetera. So I'm just more disappointed in Kyrie Irving because I'm used to seeing Kyrie getting crazy busy, and we didn't see that, right? There's times where, shooting the ball, he didn't look comfortable, he didn't look confident. I didn't see no confident Kyrie Irving like I'm used to seeing. I haven't seen Kyrie Irving get plucked so much in a series, in a game against Boston. I haven't seen Kyrie Irving get his shot blocked so much like he did against Boston. So I don't know what it was against the Celtics. I want to say it had something to do with just being there, right? Not being comfortable there, but it's just hard to see because I've never seen Kyrie look like that, right? So frustrated. So I don't know, man. They got to get that together, though, because they will probably see them boys again.
What hurts me, James, Slick, and I'll be more calm with this one, is...
Take that breath.
Free yourself.
Let's go free yourself, bro. Free yourself.
What hurts me is Kai was acting like he's won one before, and he has. The problem is his teammates have it. Kyrie had the urgency of a player who's good. He had the urgency of a player who's already been there, done that. He didn't have the urgency of a player that's hungry. Like Kai, you couldn't afford to have 12 points, 16 points, and 15 points. You can't afford to be so unbothered that you can tweet 20 minutes after. Y'all are 3 for 3 on Super Bowls here, if I'm not mistaken. Shady went 2 for 2, James went 1 for 1. So y'all don't know how it was to lose. I lost the national championship game, 13-0 at Texas, went to the national championship 20 minutes down the road, played at the Rose Bowl against Alabama. as soon as we lost, I ain't taking to Twitter. I did not have the emotional capacity to start typing messages about, hey, this is bigger than us. Stay together. You know, love is love. I'm hurt, dog.
Yeah.
What did Reed say?
I'm hurt, dog.
I'm hurt, dog.
That's him okay.
So I was so frustrated because Kai was acting like he's good, because he is good.
Yeah.
He already won one, but Slick, everybody else, I'm hurt.
But you need to give, but real quick for Slick goes, this is what I don't like. Kyrie has a lot of that, right. We're going to check him because he was wrong, but we need to get on Luka too.
Yeah.
Luka is the worst all-star I've ever seen in my life. He can score the ball, he can pass the ball, he can rebound, all that. He has no effort on defense. He don't want to play defense. He don't hustle for no loose balls. He don't hustle for no loose rebounds. I watched Drew Holiday about 3 to 4 times get extra rebounds when he's guarding. I'm like, yo, he don't try. Yo, I watched Luka because like Kyrie deserves, but we don't give Luka no blame for nothing.
Luka gets a lot of this,
I watched Luka. I guess, I don't know if he got injured or what, or fouled. He's laying on the ground.
Yeah.
The ball's going this way. He's still there. They scored it in now. He's still just getting up. Anybody else you watch, when they get on the ground, they get their butts up and get on defense. He has no type of urgency of playing solid basketball. And I will not let my son, right, that wants to be a basketball player, I mean, he wants to, but I will not let him watch his tape. Because I don't want you to learn from a superstar like that. No hustle, no attitude, no care.
Nothing.
Are you crazy? So, yes, Kyrie Irving deserves all that blame, and so does Luka. Go ahead, Slick.
Coming into this game,
Or James.
we said, which duo do we want? And
We all said it.
And it was unanimous. Because we just came off of conversations with, is this the greatest scoring duo that we've ever seen? Like, we've had those conversations. Kyrie Irving was pressing. That's me watching the game. That's what it was. This wasn't the Kyrie Irving that we've seen when the Dallas Mavericks, after the trade deadline, started rolling. This wasn't the Kyrie Irving that we've seen. This wasn't the Kyrie Irving that we've seen all the way up to the final series. And what I mean by that is Kyrie Irving was making all the right plays. Whether he was getting to the bucket, passing the rock, whether he was getting to the bucket, finishing, doing what he's doing, he was making all the right plays. Kyrie Irving, when he went to the Garden, was pressing, taking unnecessary shots. I mean, obviously, we know he got all this around the bucket, left hand, right hand, all that. But for me, he was pressing, taking unnecessary shots. But for you to be one of the best scorers of all time, the history of the game, right? That's Kyrie Irving. To not deliver, to have 15 points, 12 points, 6, like, that's terrible. And you were supposed to be the Robin to Luka. So for me, he did not show up, and he deserves a lot of that credit. But Luka deserves more.
Yes, he do.
There were 2 things that happened here. Number one, the inflation of Kyrie and Luka, and I think we were all guilty of it, through the first 3 series that they went through, particularly against Minnesota, the #1 defense, and how they looked. And we didn't take into consideration the matchups which were conducive to Dallas being able to do what they did, having lively, active bigs and the situations that it allowed Kyrie and Luka to operate in. I mean, I'm just looking at Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jayson Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. Those are 4 defenders who can make life difficult all by themselves, one-on-one with Kyrie Irving. And all of the razzle-dazzle that you have is not going to change the fact that those guys have length and that you're not going to have anybody else that's going to, it's going to be easy to get the ball to get assists. I think that where Kyrie got stuck is that he knows inherently for the Dallas Mavericks to win is that they need to get everybody involved. It can't just be him. And I would see him at times come down and hesitate to look to see what's there, and there's nothing there. Okay, I guess I got to go one-on-one. And he couldn't get easy looks. He would get a switch with Al Horford.
I've seen that.
And he
came in, Luka.
And couldn't get there because Al was daring him to take that mid. You go ahead and live by that 18, 19-footer.
Yeah, but for me, Slick, that's all excuses, man.
No, that's giving credit to the Boston Celtics and how good they were defensively and how much of a better matchup it was than Minnesota. I think we overrated where Luka and Kyrie were.
But these are all the same shots, though, that
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.